Hey, it's me, Puppet DM, and I'm here to tell you all about the sponsors we have here at the Wandering Society. We're sponsored here by Mage Hand Press, makers of a bunch of 5th edition supplements, like the Book of Kobold or their series of new classes. And don't forget, Arcmada, the amazing sci-fi fantasy campaign setting for the world's greatest role-playing game. Be sure to check them out at store.mageandpress.com. Up next, we have Roll20. It's the platform we use here at the Wandering Society to play all of our games. It's easy to use, intuitive, and it now comes with dark mode. Be sure to check them out at roll20.net. We're also sponsored by R. Talsorian Games. R. Talsorian Games make great RPGs, and they've been doing so since the early 90s. Check their books. They've got Cyberpunk Red, which Simon tells me has been played here extensively, Castle Falkenstein, which also has been played here, and The Witcher, which has also been... Okay, we get it! Check them out at your FLGS or online at rtalsoriangames.com. Have you ever wanted to wake up and smell the coffee? Well, now you can with this next sponsor, Found Familiar. Get yourself some damn good coffee at foundfamiliar.com and use the code on the screen to get 15% off. What do you mean I can't drink coffee? What the fuck is felt? And we couldn't end this segment without talking about our good friends at Die Hard Dice. That's right. As a Dice affiliate, we are proud to partner with Die Hard Dice to bring you only the best in shiny click-clacks. Click-clacks? What is... Ow. You can check their ever-growing collection over at dieharddice.com and use the link below to get 15% off. You're putting this all on me? I better get a cut.
You didn't start the intro.
No, I'm good. Good evening. That was a little late on my part. And yep, that needs to go up and that needs to be muted. Okay, it's been a little while. Hello, everyone. We don't have a video tonight because insofar as the inquest is concerned, they're going to be talking with other NPCs that I'm not going to film myself talking to myself. But I would like to talk about Archons. Individuals known as Archons are chosen for a variety of services, ranging from combat, espionage, discreet assassination, or investigations. Archons themselves are usually quite skilled in their own right and carry a lot of political clout. However, Archons do not always act openly. Some may go right after their quarry, as we've seen with Simmons. Others may simply divert resources and information to a certain kindred from behind the scenes. In fact, it is quite known as a large embarrassment to a city's prince for a single Archon to be dispatched to help maintain order. So how about 3? Of course, no one in the kindred community is staunchly loyal and rigid in their morals. After all, everyone can be bought. Every decision can be influenced. So when your own life is on the line, who will you trust? I am Simon at Wandering DM, and I will be your storyteller for tonight. And now, let's move on with our story, shall we? Why should be on the right overlay? Haha, you didn't see anything. That was all magic. Hey everyone, welcome back to session 7 of Montreal by Night, our Vampire the Masquerade Chronicle. I just need to set up the Roll20 properly. There we go. Before we begin, we have a guest for tonight, so I will let her introduce herself first before we do the intros of everybody else, recap, and then dive onto the game.
Hi.
Hello.
It me, Lindy, Laugh Love Lindy, and I'll be returning Sandswig tonight as Folly Watson, the Malkavian social media influencer and all around like shining light of Montreal, everyone's favorite YouTuber and Vine maker.
Well, welcome back. Let's do our intros with the person immediately to my right on the overlay. That way we'll be keeping Dixon for last in case Trooper is not at his computer yet. Deirdre, hi, welcome back.
Hey, everybody. Glad to be back. I am your friendly neighborhood Prax at Deirdre Donlan on Twitter, or Praxworth as me for you, as you see me around here on Twitch. I get to play Florica, Flory Winters, your friendly neighborhood Ravnos, for whom absolutely nothing has gone. It's not the Ravnos' fault, way, shape, or form, anything with the city. It is, however, my goal. I'm telling you this now, Simon.
Mm-hmm.
It's a short-term / long-term goal to make Betty green with envy.
Okay.
In the best possible way. And yes, I will be using her official title every time I talk to her.
So that is your, I was going to say short-term ambition, but yes, I know it's not short-term ambition in Vampire. I just played another game this weekend that used exactly that. So
Desire.
No, it's your desire.
It's a desire, yeah. It's desire and
versus ambition, which is the
yeah.
long term.
Again, danger, high voltage.
I mean, she's such a great secretary.
The thing is, every time I hear that, I'm just reminded of the film, and I do not need Betty associated with that film.
Ah, well. Hey, speaking of the person who just spoke, hi Pope, welcome back.
Hey everybody, Pope here. Pope World Build of the socials, Pope World Build of Twitch. And I am Absolutely delighted to be back here with the Montreal by Night crew. Get to play Arthur Porter. Both of us use he, him pronouns. And there's going to be an Elysium. And it's going to be on Halloween, of all things. It's like they just set up a giant neon sign that says, "Trap, all things will go wrong. BYOM, bring your own Molotovs." It's going to be a bad time had by most. I'm just waiting for the fallout.
I'm not going to say anything. What I am going to say, though, is... No, well, wait. Is a trooper here? Trooper going once. Trooper going twice. See, there's a reason why I ask everyone to show their faces, Trooper. You're probably muted, but we can't see it. We can't see your gorgeous makeup as you frantically try to find the button on your keyboard that will allow you to not be muted anymore. Look. He'll introduce himself once he's there. I know that he was running late for a couple of things, so I have no idea if he's actually in front of his computer.
The acquisition of the Dixon's shopping list, including, a sniper rifle and tracer rounds, is a high ask on someone who has limited resources.
Mm-hmm. That being said, last week we got to see the reunion of a child and her sire. It was a nice family reunion where information was exchanged, bad news for the most part. Casimir was asked to... Well, he's going to stay until at least the Elysium to introduce himself properly to the prince, as one should do. Dressed as an Italian gigolo, it was chosen. On the other side of the island, Mr. Porter kept being bothered by people at the door. One of which was not at the door, was on the phone.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people that are interested in your $2 million bounty.
$2 million tends to motivate people.
Yeah. You don't know who's the last person that called.
I just know that they were all business and were in a bit of a hurry.
Yep, they decided to, well, you asked for proof of life. They said they were right across the street. Then someone got strangled live on air. Or punched in the throat. Something like that.
More likely punched in the throat. Again, a strangulation takes more time.
Oh no, but by the sound, like, it was clearly like a trachea that just compressed.
Again, there are certain noises that humans make when you do things. Like stabbing them in the back, chopping them with supernatural strength in the throat. Like, there are distinctive audio cues.
Mm-hmm. Not that I would know what someone getting punched in the throat sounds like IRL. I have yet to punch someone in the throat.
There's a wheeze.
I assume it's like an asthma attack.
No, there's this... It's a cracking sound, and if you hear it, that means they had... The bad time is being had, and then there's the wheeze. It's like a 1-2. Think of like taking an entire head of lettuce and just gripping it between your big mitts and then just twisting it against itself. That sort of sound is what happens when you hit hard enough.
Oh, okay. It's funny that you think I have big mitts, though.
Bigger than my mitts.
I was gonna say things, but I'm gonna keep it quiet. Before we continue on with our session today, just 2 quick announcements. There will be a surprise during break. Some of you have already seen it, but this year marks my 6th year of streaming on Twitch, and apparently tonight is my affiliate anniversary, whatever. But for the 6th year of streaming, I decided to put together a montage of all of the games that we played here, and you will see it during break. It's a short thing, but it's fun. I had fun making it. That being said, let's dive back to Montreal, but not to any of the locations we left last time. We'll rewind the clock just a couple of hours. We're still in the night of October 25th. Folly.
Yes.
You rouse from day sleep in whichever room you've decided to make your bedroom. By this time, it's been almost a month since you've lived at Le Manoir, and you've gotten used to the eerie sounds that the house can make. It's not just creaking and groaning and rattling of pipes. Sometimes it's just strange moans carried on a wind that blows through the house, yet there is no wind outside. I mean, when there is wind outside, you do feel it. There are a lot of cracks in this house.
We're working on it.
But tonight, as you wake up, you hear a sound you haven't heard in a while.
Oh.
It's metal creaking. Just like, You're old enough to remember the good old days when people had actual mailboxes.
Oh, yes.
Which this house still has, hung by the door. Someone just dropped something.
I've got mail. I will, make sure I look presentable, because I have to look fab. Although I will peek out the window first, to see if I can catch who delivered mail. Just a little...
No one.
It's kindred, whatever. Then I will definitely take my time. Just making sure that if, any of my fans saw me, that I would look presentable, and then I will go check my mail.
One has to remember that at this time of year, when you rouse from day sleep, it's like 7:30 at night. So there's quite a lot of people still about, and a good chance that a fan might see you.
Exactly. Well, there's always the chance that a fan might see me,
Yeah, it's just less
so
likely
many
at
of
4 a.m.
Less likely. It's not unheard of. I am so popular.
There's a crumpled sheet of paper. Written in, I don't think you've seen that handwriting yet. It's definitely by someone who is, again, used to writing with older implements. Someone for who typing might not come naturally, and this was written by hand, of course.
Of course.
It reads, "I'm not on the mailing list. If the prince is going to be seen anywhere, could you let me know where and when? Just drop a note in the mailbox at this abandoned building. There's an address. I would appreciate it. And in return, I tell you this. The house already gifted you is dangerous. There is a door to the abyss there. I can't imagine it is dead. Watch out. The last person who lived there, a painter, was drained and trapped. I worry about your safety." And it is signed D. big letter D.
Okay. I do love the big D, but I will fold the piece of paper up. Go, and I'll go in and I will get a piece of paper from my own stash, and I will write. I'll choose a nice implement to write with, and I will write a response. Thank you for your concern. Let's see. I think I already have a response to this. I appreciate your concern and will keep you updated on things. And I write this on the front porch so the house can't see quite as well what I'm writing. A door to the abyss, you say. I'll take this into consideration. Thank you for being such a good fan. And then I seal it with lips. I sign it with my lipstick because I have a very specific shade.
Ooh, I forgot to mention a thing. There is a second envelope in your mailbox.
Oh gosh, when was the last time I checked my mail? I'll open that envelope too.
Oh, it dates from like yesterday, like October 24th.
Good.
It's something that in game. That's a mistake on my part. It's something that we all know happened, but since you're here, it is an invitation. By Prince Pilkers, actually by the Camarilla in general, inviting any and all kindred to a special Elysium that will take place on October 31st.
I'll open my response. P.S. October 31st. Here and there. I like location and time and stuff. Prince Boy will be there. And then fold it back up. Because I don't know his name. It's whatever. I'm not a big Camarilla fan. I'll debate on going. Because, like, that's Halloween. And, you know, costuming's kind of a big deal. So it's a big day for content, you know. So I'll think about it. And then I'll text Artie. Because he loves getting texts from me so much.
Evening.
Hey, Artie. Did you also get invited to the Halloween Elysium? Halloweesium? It doesn't work. I'll come up with something. They could have done something catchier. Boop.
The Camarilla and Catchy are allergic to one another.
Gross.
I have been informed of the Elysium. I am also a kindred scholar. Any Elysium held on Halloween usually ends poorly.
Yeah, I was debating on going or not because, like, there's a big costume contest downtown and I'll, like, name some bar or something.
Okay, I thought you were making up a costume contest at the Elysium, and I was like, that will be weird.
No, like some, like, normal human costume
there are
contest
many
event.
of them.
Yeah.
In fact, it's for sure because it is a staple of the nightlife in Montreal. The cabaret.
Oh yeah, at the cabaret, there's a big costume contest.
Yeah.
I was planning on going to that, but I don't know.
There would have been one at La Jungle, but it's, shut down for now.
Well, it depends on what kind of time that you want to have. If you want to have kindred gossip time, the Elysium's good. If you just want to have lots of interesting looking kind around you, win some cash, and maybe have a bite, go to your costume contest.
Cool. You hear from Alfredo yet?
Fredo, I am trying to get a hold of. He is definitely showing his age by the response time, but I do know this about my good friend Fredo. He is going to take one look at your house and be giddy.
Wow, he just sends such long texts. I don't say this in text form. I'm just commenting on it. Like, I imagine it's like a paragraph that just comes through.
Like,
Yes.
we actually pan further, and you can see that Artie has one of those little docks next to his computer that allows him to keyboard.
Yep. Oh gosh. Folly's just, swipe.
2 seconds. I'm sending a message to Fredo.
Okay.
So I will tell you all right away because I'd completely forgot about it. I have found Fredo.
I am delighted and afeared.
My only issue is that Fredo's schedule is a little tight. So what's going to happen is kind of like with our interviews. We're going to pre-record. So I'll need to find a time when Fredo and Folly are available.
Here for it.
But I will make sure to make introductions. The old man absolutely loves new students and new places.
He's someone y'all have probably seen if you've hung out with me, but not someone you would think, is all I can say.
Interesting.
I can think of a lot of people.
I have a hope. I doubt it, but it'd be fun. Yeah. So she'll be like, KK, thanks, bye. BTW, how are you, I guess?
I keep having people show up at my door or call me. It's weird.
Why? Did you get popular all of a sudden?
Well, I did put out a $2 million bounty because somebody made off with one of my favorite kind.
That would do it.
But aside from that, I'm doing well. Do keep your head on a swivel. I know you already saw Tweedledee and Tweedledum.
LOL.
But there's a third one around, and he's awfully prey-driven. Just keep your head on a swivel.
Just please tell me he's not a Toreador too.
Oh, no. He's a gangrel through and through.
Oh, that's fine then.
Yeah, not nearly as petty, just very prey-driven.
Just get a thumbs up and like a winky face, like emote. There's lots of emojis through all of this from public responses.
Oh yeah. By the by, just in case I didn't let you know, there was a dust up at the jungle, and its owner has gone missing. Most likely culprit is one of the local Tremere, by my guess. Though I do not know the motive as of yet.
Interesting.
Your post-its were still all over the office.
Nice. I'll avoid the jungle for a bit then. You doing anything interesting this evening? I'm a little bored.
Hopefully getting my kind back. Somebody very professional is doing wet work.
What kind of wet work?
The one where people no longer have the ability to speak due to blunt force trauma.
Oh, boring. That's just all you get.
Though I do know that Flory and Flory's sire's in town, and I know that the older gent would probably love you.
Hey, Flory, it's Folly. What you up to this evening?
Introducing family to friends. You want to meet at Artie's? Question
Sure.
Cool.
Casimir's like,
FYI, that Betty, that other Toreador, has a title now. Remember, she's the secretary to the prince.
That's a title?
Well, she didn't get Harold. It's an insult.
She's just like, I don't even know titles in the Camarilla. It's just, whatever.
Oh, no. And Florrie's like, no, it's an insult, and I'm going to keep using it.
Okay, cool. See you soon.
Okay.
TTYL. Heart, smiley face, sparkle.
Yep.
it changes from trying to converse with Dixon by phone. It's a lot more modern.
Mm-hmm.
But that said, Folly,
I'm gonna drop off my response to Big D, because I don't know his name. So I'm just gonna call him Big D on the way to Artie's house.
the abandoned building in question is not that far off from where you live, or where you
Hold up for now.
reside at the moment. Yeah.
Yeah, I still have my safe place, but you know, we gotta fix up this place. The contractors, we've told them just to ignore that one room and work on everything else, you know.
And you see that there is progress. I mean, it's been a month. Normally it
Yes.
should be finished by now, but work is extremely slow.
It's okay if it's just sucking some life force out of the construction workers. That's fine.
Yeah, you get the feeling that they try to avoid staying in one room for too long. So there's like a little bit of update in here, then like a bit of update in the parlor.
I get it.
But then it's going to take like 2 weeks before they go back there, and yada, yada, yada.
That's fine.
The building itself is an old...
I'm paying them per
it's
project,
probably-
not per hour, so it's fine.
It was probably some sort of factory before, well, very small factory, maybe like some textile place in between downtown and Griffintown, the Irish Quarter. Which, you know, eventually this building will probably get demolished and built over. But in the meantime, there's just an abandoned building there. And it has a sort of like discarded mailbox kind of stuck in a corner between like the front, like the door frame to the front is like this brick, like rectangular arch, right? So it juts out just a little. Some of the bricks have fallen atop of the mailbox, but it is still there for someone who knows what to look for.
Mm-hmm.
Shove it in there.
And I'll crumple it like the same way, so that way they know that like I got it. Like it's just not like a random note. I'll just like,
Yeah, they folded it a certain way.
and then I'll go off to Artie's house.
I take it you're on foot, correct?
Yeah, I will be tonight. I could drive, but Artie's drive only has so much space, as I found out.
That
I'm surprised you do not have a Vespa.
A little Vespa. Boop, boop.
no,
You know, it
but,
wouldn't surprise me if she did, but I don't. I think she's hoofing it tonight. I do have points in drive, though. I'm pretty good. You know what? We'll take the Vespa.
all right. You're taking a Vespa.
Yep.
Okay, it's a very important question.
Yes.
Is this Vespa red or powder blue?
Oh, powder blue.
Why would it be any different?
Well, again, you also have, because Folly does do vintage stuff, you could have that pastel green or the pastel yellow.
I thought about the pastel yellow, but I think it would be the powder blue. It goes better with the red hair.
Fair.
And technically, the powder blue is what Audrey Hepburn gets to ride in Royal Holiday.
I'm not jealous or anything.
Sure.
Dang talkies. I'm gonna get on one. Time will come.
You make your way to Artie's, more or less at the same time as Flory, but we'll have Flory and Casimir arrive before.
I do have to drop off the note.
Yeah. Cass has not changed his clothing, by the way, since it's just going to meet
I'm
Artie, but...
I assume he put on something that wasn't, you know, what he stole off the dead body that didn't fit, which is why I pulled out the suits.
Oh, he thought the suits were just for the Elysian.
No. She's like, those are too short here. You know, like there's a reason she keeps.
He will take
multiple
the one
outfits.
He'll take the one that has the most black.
Oh yeah, okay. So
without it being completely black.
Middle Eastern arms dealer.
So business casual for him.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Look, there are aesthetics. I am not judging anyone and I am not stereotyping anyone, but there are aesthetics.
He will ask you a few questions on your way there, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
One of which is, you know, who exactly is this?
Rajul Amal.
You've named him often, but...
Yes, but he also speaks Arabic, so he knows what she's calling him. Which...
Yeah, I don't remember.
It's okay.
What does it mean again?
Literally.
Ah, okay. I got it.
And that he pays. He doesn't cheap to anyone. A decent safe cracker. No, you can. I didn't say it. I just typed it to him.
Yeah. I have it here.
It's easy to do. He's pays on time, polite, decent safe cracker. Samichi, but not this kind of Samichi, the more Samichi.
Not the kind who will eventually bleed us dry for some magic trick.
Not
Correct?
anymore. He's from Miami.
This does not reassure me.
He's a white boy from Miami.
This does not reassure me.
Well, he's not a Cuban. They're more
Orleans.
fun.
You seem to trust them.
Enough to pay his bills and work. Give him priority for work.
That's all I
He
need to
did
know.
great.
Oh,
He follows the old ways and he grants guest right.
I was going to ask, so then anything I should be made aware of? Normally I wouldn't ask this question. I, as the youth put it, wouldn't give a damn. But you trust them, so I will try to refrain from staining your reputation with them, I guess. Anything I shouldn't do. Okay.
Look, he left her. And he's convinced that she's going to destroy him eventually.
Yeah, there's I might be a little triggering tonight.
Well, I guess we'll have to deal. Look, at the end of the day, you can't pick your family, you just have to survive them. Tell me I'm wrong.
Should I read into this that you intend to survive me?
Just based pure numbers, I figure I might outlive you, but I'm not planning to kill you. I don't go into family murder.
Glad you haven't changed on that. And with that, you arrive at Artie's. Looks impressive from the outside.
And then she'll reach up into because she's driving the vet. She'll reach above the visor and click the garage button. And I have his garage code.
Oh. I see you're at that level.
I would not rob him without a lot of persuasion.
How's his garage door security during daytime, though?
Actually, decent enough. And he has murder van. I need to like pull up next to it. Respectable level of cleanup afterwards. And like any dragon, he wants to influence the great and powerful. So there's that.
Well, then let's go meet your rich great dragon friend.
Rich is the important part of that. Look, there are stereotypes, and then there are people who fulfill the stereotype. I understand my role here.
He's going to stand like a foot behind you to your right and just wait, politely let you do your thing.
Yeah, she parks in. She's just gonna, Rajul, come meet the family. Like, she's being formal-ish, but it's that level of formal with Gajo you trust. To not screw you over. Not that you actually trust.
Mm-hmm.
Dressed relatively well. Not overly fancy. This is like 1950s era, like gray suit.
Gray or shark skin?
Gray. Again, getting that kind of tailorship in Florida at that time. So it's gray. But bearing a bottle. Good evening. Ed looks at Flori, looks at Casimir. I welcome you to my home.
Casimir, for those who might not have been there for when he landed last week, we have him in the Legend Keeper. I will just send very quickly the link again, in case you're interested.
For those of you who don't want to look him up, he's picture
a
Mediterranean Tom Selleck.
Wow, that is very accurate. Yeah, picture what, yeah. Yep.
Tom Selleck making Greek.
Tom Selleck in his, if Tom Selleck was Greek and in his prime, Turkish, in his prime today. Yeah.
So Magnum PI Tom Selleck, but make him Turkish. And that level of tan.
Yep. And he's giving you bedroom eyes, because that's what the picture has. You extended a bottle of what, Arthur? Sorry?
Lacrima. This is the, I want to say, 1950s 33 vintage.
Lacrima rosso, sì? Because you can get lacrima white and lacrima red.
It's the red.
I take it it's not the bottle. It's currently $25 here.
No, it's not.
He takes it. A nice gift for someone who can drink such things. No disrespect, but I will have to pass it along to someone younger.
It is an excellent thing to use as trade.
Sorry, to use as what?
Trade.
Oh, trade.
Especially when we don't want to deal in dollars and cents.
He'll keep it with him for now. Extends a hand forward. Rajul?
That's what I've been called.
And Casimir. I am Florie's sire. She probably has a lot of names for me.
Yes, but what would you like to be referred to as?
That'll depend on what happens tonight. He's got a little smile.
Come in. Please make yourself comfortable.
He comes in if you have like a little area, like a table or something where you can put the wine bottle in the meantime.
There's a long inset in the hallway that leads to the garage. That there's like some like photographs, small little lithographs, and there's definitely a place where you could like set the bomb.
He takes his shoes off. More by politeness than anything, because even when you were outside, you never heard him make a noise. I mean, you got used to it with Flory. So, I guess I would say as daughter, as father. Look, there's not many ways this can go, and given my age and what little I know of you, and how short nights are nowadays, I'll cut straight to the point. I want to talk to you about your sire.
She often comes up.
She does.
What would you like to know?
Before he answers, Foley gets to the door.
Only one person would use that knock. Excuse me.
You open the door, it's Alex.
I would be shocked.
I don't know that Alex. Well, no, he might be old enough to know shit and haircut. Flory, when Artie goes to open the door for Folly, Flory will just say, "She's Malkavian."
Why is she here?
She seems to know the right things. Also, she's living in the house that's eating people. So there's that.
Casimir tries to make the mental link between the two.
And
hello,
she's apparently...
Hey, Artie. Flory invited me over.
Well, yes, come in, meet her sire.
Thanks. I'll come in and like hang up my coat on like I imagine you have to have a coat rack because
Oh yeah, no,
yeah,
they're
I just like hang it up, waltz on in. Flurry!
Folly, this is my sire, Casimir. Casimir, this is Folly Watson. You may remember her from a few pictures.
Casimir
In her
will
20s.
gently take your hand and kiss it. Ma'am.
So nice to meet you. A pleasure.
Oh, my apologies. I was stunned into silence by your beauty. And he winks a little.
I would blush, but
We're all dead. We know.
yeah. Such a charmer.
You would notice actually that well, even all of you, Folly, Flory, oh, god damn it, I'm going to hate this. Flory, you are used to seeing your sire on account of him being your sire.
Mhm.
For everybody else, he has reached an age where, whether he wants to or not, he will look deader than you are, even with the blush of life.
Happens.
Like, he is pale.
Mm-hmm. And gaunt. Little gaunt.
Well, a bit gaunter. Like his jawline, his cheekbones are a little bit more apparent.
Mm-hmm.
Brow. It's nothing close to, let's say, what Dixon might look like. But it is clear that even with the blush of life, which he doesn't have right now, you get the idea that there are some things that would be a little harder to conceal. Like, blushing is probably something he cannot do anymore.
You know, Folly is always blushing of life, and if she can, because what if a fan saw her? She can't look dead. So.
Mm-hmm.
So she probably actually does get a little color in her cheeks that actually do have blush on because she's wearing a full face of makeup anytime she leaves the house. Because that is the life of a social media influencer.
You kind of have to.
Yep. She looks very alive.
So he turns back to Arthur, then looks quickly to Flory and Folly, and just asks if this is a conversation. To Arthur, he asks if this is a conversation that we can have
oh,
with the four of us.
it has, while it is a novel thing in the eyes of most kindred, I typically keep no secrets. Not major ones, anyway.
Huh.
I'm very
And how
good
has
at
that been
secrets.
working out for you?
Mixed.
And in Arabic, Flory would say, he's the one that invited the Toreador Archons to come, deal with his own sire. So there's that.
He'll answer in Arabic. He might just want to pull the rug on anyone who would try to get the upper hand on him. Pull the rug out from under those who would try to get the upper hand on him. Yeah. Or a similar idiom.
Yeah, an idiom.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you want to know about Val, what precisely would you like to know about Val?
Everything. I have met the devil before, but that was a long time ago. Before Flory's time. If the DM read the notes right.
Yes. By about 150 years.
Yeah.
She is originally from Milan. Was second daughter to nobility before she was turned. Didn't want for much. Was sadistic even then. Again, we come from a long line of monsters.
It's not what she used to call herself all those centuries ago.
There's the things that you call yourself when you're around family, and then there's whatever con we're pulling at the time.
I would probably put it to be the latter more than the former. But labels aside, how has the old hag been? Where is she?
Well, if my eyes didn't deceive me, she's here. I don't know precisely how she's manipulating Hilkers, the local princeling. She could be riding him via some of the magic of the blood, just, wearing the guy's face, because that's not hard. Or, she could be doing the old ways trick where you just slide into kindred as, liquid form and just have fun. You can still fleshcraft in liquid form, so you could be manipulating neurons. It's fun.
You call him Princeling. And Flory doesn't seem to have a lot of love for him.
He is a professional stooge.
No, but then, Prince, my question, why do you think she is so intent on controlling him, on puppeting him?
There are two things that Val really loves. Fucking with me and fucking with the king. Manipulating him does both. If what information we have is to be believed, this stooge was sent by Vion. And having that piece under her control, that's just... And having him here allows her to do both at the same time. Like, putting it to where that she could possibly start a war between the independents, the anarchs, the camis, all here where the territory is still up in the air that was a Sabbat stronghold, it would make her smile. She's very good at social engineering. Always has been.
I know her to be ruthless and cunning. But no offense on this town, but it feels almost beneath her. You aside, it's a lot of efforts for...
The fact that Vion cares makes Montreal matter. Otherwise, you're right, this place is beneath her.
She'd do it just for the connection to the old world, basically.
She wants to cause... See, that's the thing that I don't think anyone outside the family understands. Power is nice. Power allows you to do things. but she's a believer. And she believes that the way that we survive the lessons of Cain is that we weed out the weak and leave the strong. How do you do that? Pain. Killing is easy. Pain for us is hard to deal with.
You bring up an interesting point, Mr. Arthur. Flory told me that you are a man of the old ways. Are you not?
I became rudderless in the 40s. I spent decades trying to find a path. I studied Constantinople.
But as a more
It's
traditionalist...
Istanbul.
Oh,
I mean, if you want to get technical, it's Byzantium, but who cares? It's a hell pit.
yeah, Casimir will just turn to Folly very quickly.
There was like a song about it.
And wait, I need to check something.
This is only because I give so many shits about it in our game from last night about it. It's Constantinople, not Istanbul.
But he's actually going to correct you as Constantinople. But actually say it like in the Ottoman Turkish. Of which I cannot pronounce without a pronunciation guide.
Of course. Yes.
But that's beside the point. If you are someone who is more of a traditionalist, you probably count the steps we are removed from the one true vampire. Do you not?
Yes, because the effects are real.
Then please enlighten me, because this is something I have sought to know and never could get a straight answer. How far removed from Cain is she? And you see that he's like peering at you as he asks.
The truth of that is real fuzzy, friend. Because there was what she was, not what she is.
The closest approximation to what she could be now.
30s were a hell of a time in Miami. The cam tried to push into Florida, West Palm Beach. That was the beachhead between both. And then there was the incidents in Jacksonville and Tampa. Our pack fed well. But there were those that were the elders of the pack that did not just drink, they did more. That was one of them. And the cam didn't use Sabat tactics. They didn't send weak things to use as shock troops. No, they sent their best because they thought they were going to win. She ate real well. I don't know. I haven't traced the lineages of her victims. That brings up an older version of myself that I do not like revisiting.
And how
But
close are you?
Nine, 10 steps.
Okay. Well, you've answered a question I've been asking myself for centuries. She lies well.
Oh, very.
From what I recall her boasting about, she was a child of Bodor Toth. I check it to myth and legends. This I mean, granted, they are post-Diluvians, but I think they're more. She was more deluded than anything.
She's deluded about a number of things, but scholarship in Miami was keen. And the dragons down there cared about lineage. We trace our line all the way back to Draco.
Sorry, I didn't hear all the way back to
The Draco.
the Dracon. Yes, well, there was a whole lot less of us back then. Even then, who would not... Let me rephrase that. Who would be so bold as to call upon blood ties to such a mythical creature? I mean, granted, we could all say that we are descended from Cain, but no one is going to really say, look at me, I am Cain's child.
No. But lineage matters. Otherwise, the Ventrue wouldn't exist. No,
The only
it's-
reason they exist is because of lineage.
Yes. And the power that makes it appear as though it matters. It matters to those that it does. And being able to tie yourselves directly to a mythical figure is something that anyone on this blue ball has been doing since Cain got his gifts.
Look, I mean, technically I can call myself a child of Genghis Khan. That doesn't mean I'm going to.
No, that's the point. Normally when you use the name, it's because you want the weight that comes with it for one reason or another.
I don't know. Here's the thing. You told me that she did not enjoy her leaving of Paris.
Back in those days, her clan lost power, influence within what would eventually become the Camarilla. It didn't happen overnight. It wasn't just the Convention of Thorns. The signs were, well, glaringly apparent for those of us who knew where to look. And granted, I was but a neonate when all of this happened.
Yes. Certain people like to tell stories.
Giordani was already there. Now, you talk about telling stories. Half of what Giordani, my sire, says is often a load of bullshit. Whereas what I say is often any looks too fully the truth more than anything.
So the story about you, the purple robes, and the daughter of the Count of Bergon.
Flip a coin. Heads. It's absolutely true. Tails. some details may have been embellished for the sake of storytelling.
The best
I'll let-
stories are embellished. That's all that Hollywood is.
That
Giordani
and a
tells some very interesting
ruthless machine to make money. Huh?
She like says under her breath to Folly is like, Giordani is my grandsire. He tells very interesting stories.
Yes, apparently Giordani is both Blackbeard and Jack Rackham, and probably also what was her name again? And Bonnie, which I doubt.
I could see the Blackbird thing, but I thought he hated being French, so the Jack Rackham is weird.
Jack Rackham in himself was almost as much French as anyone wanted him to be. I mean, the character of Calico Jack was definitely not French. And I
just
don't
need to
think
know when you
Giordani
start-
ever wanted to be called Jacques.
Yeah. But my point was, you said that she left Paris not happy. Would she take advantage of a greater insult by taking over Paris's agent here in Montreal?
Give me 2 seconds. I have to verify something. As a GM, not as Casimir.
Of course, of course. We understand.
Okay. We have centuries of freaking yeah, okay. I needed to check if it was pre or post Vion. I don't think Prince Vion knows or remembers anything about her. She might still have some I don't know, hung up feelings for him for what happened. But I doubt that Val Filogamo is more than just a footnote in Vion's long history of I was going to say all the women he angered, but that would be a oversimplification. All the kindred he angered.
To give you a quote from my side, grudges do two things for us. They help keep the beast at bay, and they keep us sharp.
And
And I don't think in the entire time that I've known her, she has ever forgotten a grudge or forgiven one.
how petty would it be for someone to indulge in memoriam so often just to remember those grudges? To us, and he like, you know, points to himself, but also looks at Flory. What she did is a crime that merits remembrance. Vion did not give two shit about that kind. She just overstepped one of the many boundaries Paris is now rife with. I'm not saying that she has no right to want to go on a crusade against Vion. Far from it. I'm just trying to figure out people like her, people like me. There is something happening to us. I've
Call.
Yeah. A beckoning. Even
If you start fighting with swords in the middle of the desert and, lightning strikes, we're not talking about it again.
that is the quickening.
Yes, but it also ties to the beckoning where they will go to one single location and fight to the death until there's only one left alive. And if some dude with staples in his throat shows up, I'm looking for the resurrection of Freddie Mercury. That's all I'm saying.
In this case,
Say Freddy Krueger.
And she'll like reach over to Folly and go, no, but I'll show you this movie. It's very good. I think you'll like it.
Mm.
A Belgian plays a Scot with an American
Happens all the
accent.
time.
Oh, and Sean Connery plays a Spaniard who's really Egyptian.
Oh, that's questionable.
modern references aside, Casimir continues. Give me a sec, Verivores. I'll talk about it real quick. But Casimir says, modern references aside, the beckoning is not something that we can fight. It's not something it's not something we can ignore. She is... I'm not saying that she isn't responsible for what is happening here. I'm just trying to wrap my head around it. How can she expend so much energy on this when I'm not saying I am more powerful than her, but I am a powerhouse in my own right.
Question.
Yes.
Maybe that's why the prince fled. If she is truly riding that meat suit, the beckoning has to fight with an additional beast. She's using the old ways to run around in him. She may have found a trick that allows her to fight dirty that call.
He suddenly becomes very interested. In fact, there's a twinkle in his dead eyes that wasn't there earlier when you mentioned that there might be a possibility of circumventing the beckoning. Even if it's something that Val is doing, you are opening a door.
Mm-hmm.
Then all the more reason for me to attend this little Elysium.
You
I mean,
know
introduction
it's a
and
trap.
politeness aside. Huh? Oh, of course it is. But do you
Okay.
know how scarce I can make myself be in a heartbeat?
I'm just telling you, you're probably going to need to use all those tricks. Right now, if I were still running books, the chance that thing ends up on fire, that's a 2-to-1 bet.
What are you running on the odds of me being the one who lights the fire?
6 to 5.
Tata, those are good odds. We should run some money on that.
There is a phrase that I've heard a lot of the younger kind use often. We don't start the fire. Song or something.
Billy Joel.
I don't think it would be wise to start a fire there. If Mr. Arthur is right, she might be expecting something to happen. She might be expecting all in attendance to just meet their final deaths. And then have free reign on a city that doesn't have anyone to stand up against her. Now, I'm not certain. This is just...
That's not her style. She needs an audience. She always has.
She can call upon the audience after. You would be surprised at what many of us have tried to do just to pause the call.
2. You always leave 2. 1 to tell the story and 1 to be a pet project for later.
Then who is not going at Elysium?
Well, I'm definitely not going.
She has her too. Who better than to herald her ascension into whatever it is she wants with this place than her own child? Whether you want to or not, Mr. Porter, you are still under her thumb.
Fuck, I didn't see that play.
He turns to Florian before we go to break. We'll just say, in Arabic, see, I told you I would be triggering.
You say that like I didn't expect it.
But yeah, we're gonna take a quick break. Hello, new people. So to answer your questions, hi, I am the lead writer on Vampire the Masquerade Chapters, which is an RPG in a box produced here in Montreal by the studio called Flyos. We are basically playing in the canon universe version of Montreal prior to the Chapters game, and our city has already changed so that it won't resemble Chapters anyway. But yes, what happened very quickly is that in 2012, during a dark mass held by Kyle Strathcona, of all people, a strike team of Inquisitors and Interpol agents, as well as some well-trained American special ops and some Canadian special ops, showed up. Thank you. Showed up under Dorchester Square, where the Temple of Eternal Whisper was. They set up explosive charges and then blew the entire Montreal underground to smithereens. Not the entire underground city, that was kind of safe. I mean, the Eaton Center got partially damaged and other places as well, of course. But the entire Dorchester Square just sunk. It was rebuilt. It was filled up. People just called it a sinkhole, whatever. But because this dark mass was, for some reason, very important to the Sabbat, most 90% of them were there. The shovelheads are still buried somewhere, awaiting activation. In Chapters, actually, you do get to play one of them, if you pick the Kaitif as your playable character. You are someone who would have become a shovelhead had there been shovels still for Sabbat people. So there's a few straggling Sabbat, but now it means that Montreal is by itself like the Wild West. There is no one in control. The Anarchs have a territory. For those of you who live around Montreal, it's by the Olympic Stadium. Downtown did recover. The problem is the cathedral right across the street from Dorchester Square, Marie Reine du Monde, is the Inquisition's HQ. And everyone knows the Inquisition is still in Montreal. They just don't know where. Now, my players in game, they don't know exactly that they're holed up in that place, but out of game, that's where it is. And other places, they have a lot of tendrils everywhere. And yeah, so things are happening in our game right now. Well, the Camarilla, or people from the Camarilla, an envoy from Prince Villon of Paris, just showed up and declared himself prince, had a bunch of cronies with him, and apparently now there is a Camarilla. And our players, playing a Ravnos, a Zimichi, a Bruja with an asterisk, and Folly, our guest, who's a Malkavian. They don't belong to any of the major sects, and they're kind of trying their own things. No, Verivore, there's a lot of things from... Without spoiling anything, there were survivors. Jimmy Smith is one of the survivors. Valois is one of the survivors. And others that I will not spoil because I would also spoil shit for my players. But if you do play chapters, you get to see all of those. And all that fun stuff. But for now, we are going to go to break. As I said earlier, quick video, quick montage, celebrating our 6 years here. And we'll be back in like 5 to 10 minutes. I will just grab stuff to drink. Hey, we're back. Before we start Bleak season, that was awesome. I don't know what y'all mean by old anyway. So, by internet standard, I think I'm old. Oh! That's not. It's like the new 39. Anyway. Back to our discussion. Now that I made Arthur cry.
Not cry, just I hadn't figured that out.
I mean, I may be wrong. Our paths have crossed time and again over time. Mostly... a few times. Hopefully less than yours. So, you are the expert on all things Val. Which is why I believe my child wanted me to come see you.
That, and I figured that if you were here, he wouldn't go on a crazy, red thread breakdown.
Oh.
Whoa.
Red thread breakdown.
Yeah, the dude with the thread and the murder board thing.
Like a conspiracy board.
The conspiracy, yes.
Yeah.
I know that quite well.
Yeah, I figured the two of you should talk. You have conflicting boards.
Well, speaking of board and conspiracy theories, Florrie's little brother was assassinated.
Oh.
Another
Sorry to hear
child
that.
of mine. Huh? He looks at you and says, "No, I'll make more."
And there's this look that Flory gives to Folly is like, yes, he is exactly like every Roma man you will ever meet. This is exactly like him. It's fine.
People have expectations, He's the guy from, outer seas, so might as well just play to those expectations. He was a neonate. And not someone I had championed as anything. He hadn't proven himself like Flory. He hadn't traveled the globe, which is all the more surprising why he was targeted. Now I believe, and he fetches in his clothes and gets the business card out, I believe this belongs to you. And he slides the Hunter's Green, a little bit crumpled, a little bit dirty card.
It does. Does it still have the code on the back?
So normally the card has if it's a is it a barcode or a QR code, or is it just a number?
No, it's an ID number.
It's an ID number. Most of it has been scratched out with like a needle, kind of like if it was a scratcher ticket. Some of it is still legible. The way you do your numbers, there's like there's like a unique string for every one, but there's also certain numbers that will let you know, when the person was, I was gonna say initiated, was
You're not entirely wrong.
Well, yeah, but became a member, right? Filled out their membership card. And this one is a relatively old number. It's 3 years old.
Huh.
Which you weren't in... no, what am I saying? 3 years old. No, wait, we're in 2014, right?
Yeah.
So it's a 2012 number. Which is about that time when you came in and took over as management or owner.
Yeah.
Back then, by the way, the club was owned by Kine. You remember it?
Yeah. That's movie. Huh. I can see about going to the office, trying to run it, see what names pop up. Because I don't have all of it, and I doubt I can recover all of it. But there's enough there that I can narrow the field down.
That can help.
I'm pretty sure with a little work, I could bring the rest of that back.
Do you want to give it a go?
Yeah. And she'll like reach over and just pick it up. We'll bring it back in a minute.
The storyteller has a question for
Mhm.
Polly.
Yes.
What do you intend to do with the card?
Well, I'll try a couple of things. I'll try one thing first, and if it doesn't work, I'll do a different thing. I'm gonna first start with heightened senses, which doesn't cost anything to activate. Just whoop. To see if I can see what the number was before it was scratched out. To like just feel it, look at it. You know, really examine it really well.
That would normally require a. So what we'll do is we'll add your Auspex rating to your roll, right? It would be resolve and investigation, or if you have anything in like crafting for penmanship or numbers, but otherwise, resolve plus so craft or investigation plus
Makeup. No,
Auspex.
not quite the
The
same thing.
difficulty will be 4.
Okay. So, difficulty 4. Let's see, this should work, I hope. Investigation, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, investigation, aspects plus my resolve. And my result, my aspects is 2, so we'll just add 2 to the pool. Difficulty 4. Been a hot minute since I've rolled this sheet.
Ooh. Yeah.
Yep. Did it.
That's 4 successes. Congratulations. But also, I need to check something.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Is that a bad?
Well, it's 'cause you have certain disciplines that I wasn't sure if you had them or not.
I have 4 different disciplines.
But when you touch the card, before you even begin looking at the numbers.
Yeah. So I get hit with a premonition.
Yeah.
I get hit with a premonition, don't
you
I?
Get hit with
That
a
was
premonition.
I was going to try to force a premonition if I couldn't read the numbers. So this is, we're just killing 2 birds with one roll here. It's fine.
So, the premonition that you have is... I'll give you words. Dark.
Okay.
Damp. Bricks. And the last word would probably be... Ooh. Shadows.
I don't like how much like this house it sounds. I don't like how much this sounds like my house. That's all I'm gonna say.
It's just, you have this image, it's a very vivid image, but it comes and goes so quickly that even your immortal brain has trouble, like, holding on to... So it's just, there was this, there was that, there were brick, you felt like it was very, like, damp, like there was a... I don't know, like a flooded basement type of thing.
Okay.
There were shadows, some brick texture. But then, like I said, it's a nanosecond after you look at the numbers, and you see that with your heightened senses how the scratches were made on the numbers. It was made quickly, and it was made probably right before, well, not probably, you know what 4-6 says. They were made before the card was crumpled. And because they were made hastily, even though the person tried to do a good job, all the lines are horizontal.
The same direction.
Yeah, it's the same direction.
You're just trying to, you're not doing the thing where you write different scratch different numbers on top of the old numbers, and yeah.
Exactly. So you can make out the number.
Okay.
It's like if you want a string of number.
Sure, whatever.
It would be 1308. Sorry, 1308 618 695.
Okay.
The important part of that is year, month, the first two, because the rest is probably the unique ID of the person. So August 13, 2013.
Okay. So I think she takes that card, and I think it's probably like right as she's figuring out, like when she's really looking at it, that she gets the blink, and she's just like, oh, yeah, the numbers, August 2013, so it's 1308 618 695. This card has some bad vibes.
Want to be more specific? Possession or premonition?
That's a great question. So the numbers were scratched out really fast before it was crumbled up, and I just got like a blip, like a microsecond. It was so small. It was very dark, and it was very damp, like a flooded basement kind of vibes. There was a lot of brick, and shadows.
Oh, did I tell you about the people who were living in the sewer? There were a whole bunch of whites living in the sewer, and apparently some people, some dude walking around with a coat of faces on it.
Intriguing. Little gross.
Flaying somebody so you get their face off enough to turn them into a coat. That seems like a
There's
fashion.
enough horror movies on it.
Yeah, but that seems like a fashion statement that no one can actually wear well.
Be surprised.
I mean, it's not in, that's for sure. But yeah. Ooh, that was
You want the mango?
quick, but
You want fruits, sugar, help your blood sugar.
I would love something to eat. Yeah.
And she'll like walk into Artie's kitchen and not even ask. Just kind of grab
one of the bags.
Grab one of the bags, and because the last time Alex was there, he left like the fruit basket. She'd be like, "Oh, there's still fruit in the basket," and just like, "Yeah, have a blood bag and a fruit."
Oh, I'll just hand the blood bag back. she's into real people food like a whole lot. She loves to eat, even though she's gotta, purge it all later. It's something she's never really let go. So she's just gonna like just eat the mango. Like, this is good mango. Makes more Indian food.
And like Florty will just turn and smirk at Casimir's like, "This is why I invited the Malkavian."
So yeah, that's like premonition I got off of touching it. Usually I see future things, so that's just vibes, but who knows? Is that helpful, Artie?
Yes, that was. Let me run that number real quick.
run the number through your
Database.
software. Yeah, your database. Give me just a quick second.
For sure, for sure.
Okay. You run the number through the database, and it ends up being a person called Patrick LeMay. Patrick LeMay is someone who visited the Hunter's Green a couple of times in 2013 and then reported the card as lost. Back then, they did not deactivate the card or anything. He was just like, I might have lost it on the premises. It shows back up. And the thing is it's been used since a few times. In late 2013, early 2014, but then stopped being used around like March of this year.
GM question. Did I not stab Patrick LeMay?
Wait.
In the solo episode with Scott?
Okay, if you did, that is just some fucked up coincidence.
Okay.
No,
There's a lot of Patrick LeMays running around. It's a very common name in the area.
It's entirely true, and I was technically in a different city. I was just wondering, like, is this the same one?
Was it the journalist? No.
Yeah. No,
Richard
because it was...
Hammer, the guy who has like a column, like a gossip column. Okay.
No, because it was. I thought the name, the kind that she was talking to about actually arranging the importation of the circulatory system.
Yeah, the name was it was Pierre Marcellet.
Okay, that was me
That was very
wrong
close. Yeah, Pierre Marcellet and Patrick LeMay. Yeah.
I was like,
So that GM moment of panic. I know well. You're like, oh no, did I give you the wrong NPC? Time to swap names.
Look,
yeah.
I mean, she didn't spend a lot of time talking to him. She walked into the room and used her hairpin to stab him through the throat, and then proceeded to kill the other people in the room. So it wasn't like I was taking a lot of notes about his name.
No, I tried not to give him too much of a generic name. Because it, like, I didn't want it to be too generic so that you thought it could have been an alibi, but it's not. It's a real person. Sorry. Just answering Verivor's question real quick. But yes. Patrick LeMay is still alive. You can search him on Facebook. He's there. It's the same person. In your database, you have a photo of the members because, when they get up to the exclusive VIP sections, they need to be recognized, not just hand over a card. But since March, he never showed up again. And the card was reported as lost, by the way, in late 2013, just to make sure.
Mm-hmm.
Casimir will ask, what did you find?
It was a card that was reported lost. Didn't have deep security clearance enough to get into the club. Used only a few times and then stopped March 2013. Was once the card holder was a a Patrick LeMay.
Hmm. I have no idea who that person is.
Oh, but names that someone pretty much scoped out my place shortly after taking over and lifted a card.
So,
And then somehow got it onto the person of your chowder.
I get a feeling that the person that took the card took it on purpose to leave it on Aziz. This is all...
Was there a body or just ash?
He wasn't old enough to be turned completely to ash.
I hate to pry like this, but do you think they got some of Aziz's blood?
They could have. Mind you, what? He looks at the time on his watch. Yeah. I could confer with my contacts in Paris, just not right now.
No.
Time zones. But I could have an answer. From what I recall, the excuse that were given to the authorities implied that there was no blood on the premises. I'm not confirming at the moment. I'm not hiding anything. I know what, despite the reputation. But if memory serves, no blood was spilled. Doesn't mean no blood was taken. Oh.
A lot. Just a little bit.
I will have to make more than one call.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought of something.
Awful lot with just a little bit.
Enough of what?
You can do an awful lot with just a little bit based on blood familiarity. You can do an awful.
Yeah. I mean, not to brag or anything, but I am kind of on a first name basis with Or Shulgi. Which is why I need to make a few calls.
Then you know precisely why you and now your entire line is in danger.
When you say entire line, he just turns to look at Flory.
Flory.
And Flory's holding out her phone with Giordani's number pulled up. It's like, you can call him.
He has disappeared.
Look,
he's going to press call on it.
Yeah, no, but
like, that's the first thing. Like,
but if you call him and leave the message when he comes back from being disappeared, then it's not our fault.
It rings. It rings. And the call gets picked up. But it is not Giordani's voice.
Uh-oh.
It's Zalmadi's voice.
And in rapid Arabic, she says, where'd you get this phone?
He just... So, I still don't know how Greg is going to play this. But he stammers a little. He goes, this has got to be the weirdest coincidence. How often have you tried calling this number?
Oh, frequently.
He asks if Casimir's here.
Yeah, he's standing here. The phone is on speaker.
He starts, of course, still in Arabic. He starts describing what you kind of guess are mausoleums, probably. He's like, do you remember the weird one with the steep roof next to the one that was almost caved in? You know, where you go down the path and the place that floods in the spring.
Zalmadi, you have not gotten better at directions.
And Casimir just like nods, and you can see him probably like revisiting or remembering the path. And he ends up saying, I found the phone laid up on an unmarked grave. The screen is cracked. I can't see anything on it.
Well, we know he's not dead.
We would have felt it, Casimir says. We would have felt it if he had died or met final death.
The screaming in agony would be real obvious.
Yeah, and I am not Jardani's only child. There would be a family reunion, I gather.
I remember what happened at the last one.
Zalmadi, why are you there? And he switches to English. And Zalmadi goes on to explain.
By the way, when he speaks English, he sounds perfectly American.
Greg, that?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Yes, Zalmadi goes on to explain that they were following a lead. There's apparently like this cell of Kine who are basically slowly acting to subvert. Imagine, GM speaking, imagine a cell of religious extremists. Actually, I shouldn't say extremist. Fringe. A fringe religious group who basically, to humans anyway, would say, hey, by the way, this part of the Quran was not translated right. It was lost in, not necessarily in translation, but, you know, it was lost in the meaning of those passages from before and yada yada, and it's not the same now. It doesn't mean the same thing. And basically Zalmadi explains that that little cell has been trying to subvert other people into thinking that there was something wrong with the Quran and that Allah wasn't the actual prophet, but someone else. Oddly enough, everyone who becomes a little too interested in that disappears. And he found someone tonight who, you know, their internet search history pointed into the we're getting interested. And to Zalmadi, felt like this person was being pursued. In Flory, you know how good of a stalker / assassin Zalmadi can be.
Yes.
He didn't see anyone. And that human went into that grave, that tomb, like the mausoleum, disappeared. Like vanished. The phone was not the only thing that was there. There were bones. There were clothes. There were a couple of other phones, but, well, yours is the one that rang, so it picked Jardani's. I take it was.
Well,
one of his. Casimir will add, the cult of Orshulgi has been trying to get a lot of in-ways with Kine. If they can't get the schism to work on from the top down, they're also trying from the bottom up. If you brainwash the Kine before their embrace, then it's easier for them to blindly follow the new prophet, to go back to their root or whatever bullshit old Shulgi is trying to do. But this is... Well, this might... Zalmadi... He's gonna take the phone, put it off speaker, and just walk into another room, talk in Arabic.
Florty keeps an ear out and just follows along in the conversation, not commenting and not following.
Can you make a let's go with intel and awareness.
I can do that.
And awareness difficulty 2. Anyone who wants to eavesdrop on him can try. If you do not try, then you do not hear it at all.
I don't speak Arabic, so I'll turn off my heightened awareness.
I'm gonna re-roll.
And ask Artie if he has a blender so I could turn the rest of this mango into like a smoothie.
Oh yeah, no, there's
Cool.
one.
Yeah, so 3 successes. I was like, those odds should have
A
been
lot of
better.
dice, not a lot of successes. Yeah, 3 successes. He's asking Zalmadi, you know about blood sorcery? You know what happened to Aziz. I know of some blood sorcery, but it's mostly related to the Tremere. Could you take the blood out? Could you dissolve the blood? Could you? And he asks like a bunch of basically everything that runs through his mind.
Yeah,
of
he's
what you
trying to
could
get
do with the
he's
blood.
trying to get information about what people could do with Aziz's blood to us.
Or, but also, how can you take it out of someone without injuring them?
Yeah.
Because there's one thing, if you injure a vampire, they don't bleed out unless the injury is massive.
Yes.
So if you just
attack
like...
them with a syringe.
No, but that's it. If you stab them with the syringe, you can get the blood out. But if you, let's say, if you fire a gun at them and it grazes their arm, like there's no blood splatter unless the vampire, fails to control themselves. Of course, if the vampire gets, beheaded, then it's just a shower of gore.
Obviously.
He doesn't know exactly what happened to Aziz. And... Yep, I just need to... Zalmadi will explain that there are ways to do this, to which Casimir... Anyway, there are powers, that makes the blood boil and that does other stuff, but not that drains from afar, or forced control out of. But one of the things that Zalmadi talks about is this. There is apparently a ritual that you can do to ensorcel a specifically crafted or specifically dedicated knife. It needs to be a bladed weapon. It could be a sword, but more often than not, they used to use knives. And what it does is it destroys the blood from within. It doesn't boil it. It doesn't make it explode. It doesn't drain it. What happens is with one cut, the vampire 1 second is there, and then the next they just are emptied of blood to the point where they fall into torpor. And those that aren't old enough to resist it will die instantly. And Zalmati says, I didn't mean to pry, but I took a look into the Aziz file. And it seems to me it's one of us. And it seems like that ritual is not just legend.
Well, isn't this entertaining?
You hear Casimir switch to English and go like, eavesdropping.
Not my fault if I can hear you from this room.
Your fault if you get caught.
It isn't like I was doing that intentionally.
Zelma. There's the blender in the back. Zelmati goes, what are you doing? He's like, oh, don't worry about it. And then, have to hang up because time zones means that at this point, Zalmati can't hold it anymore.
I think it's also interesting. Like, we use Zalmati as a code word because that's the name that we've given the character that Greg has not given us the actual name for.
He would have given the real name.
But Casimir would not have called him.
No. He
I just find it hilarious.
Yeah, he would have used his actual name, but I don't want to like impose on Greg.
Yeah.
For when he comes.
Yes. But Flurry would turn, kind of seated, reclined against the hole, into the corner of the couch, look at Artie, pick up the phone, and call Dixon. And let it ring twice before she hangs up.
I do believe that Dixon will not pick up tonight. But he might do something different tomorrow. So I think it's on that we're gonna, go to sleep for the night. And move the clock forward to tomorrow night.
I tried to get Casimir's phone number. He's not know what he's getting into.
He looks at you and he's like, he gives it to you and says, there's about an 8-hour delay.
It'll just be a text. Hi, this is Polly. Remember we met last night, like the next day. That's it.
Turns off the phone.
Yeah.
But for the next night, please, players, can I get your rouse checks?
Yeah. Rouse.
Lori's fine. Arthur and Folly kind of peckish
hungry.
as you wake up. Yeah, a little hungry, but
Yeah,
nothing
it's
that
back.
can't be.
It's back time.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, herd.
Do you ask one of your numerous fans to show you up at a like private meet and greet or something?
Well, I have my main herd. I mean, I could ask a fan. That'd be fine too.
I
but I
thought your
have.
herd were fans. Sorry, were dedicated fans.
Well, I mean, they are fans as well. But one is I have them written down here. We've got Jack, Samantha, and Daniel. One of them is my lawyer, because you always need to have one of those on retainer. One of them is my sort of like PA, like my personal assistant. And then I don't have Daniel's job written down, but it was something else. Like they all work for me, but I met them because they were fans. Yeah.
So you turned your fans into your workforce, and
I
then
did. I'm
into
like,
your
you're
meal.
a lawyer? Wow, I could really use one of those. Yeah.
Folly likes people to multitask.
People have to be useful, you know. I mean, fans' love and adoration is almost enough in some cases, but you know, if I'm gonna, I want to be able to, like, at least on a working relationship with them. If I'm gonna snack from them frequently, you know what I'm gonna say?
I do have a question.
Because they're like the true
then.
dedicated fans. Yes.
Is your meal tonight drunk?
Well, I would like meet them out at a bar so we could get them a little tipsy, get them a little tipple beforehand, because that's my thing.
Well,
Yep.
yeah, I was gonna say then you won't have any penalties for your flaw.
Yep.
Good.
I have an addiction.
You do. That's why I'm asking.
Yup. I get them drunk first. That's why Polly often goes bar hopping.
I'll turn to Dixon first.
Yes.
Because Dixon isn't any hungrier tonight. But
No, but I do. It does take me a moment to wake up. I wake
Yes,
up a
yes,
bit
yes,
later
yes.
than other folks. You know, a bit later than other folks.
Yeah, we'll wind the clock back for the others. Don't worry.
For no particular reason, though.
Absolutely not. You're just a late riser.
Yeah, you know, I have things to do. That's all.
And you are up and about.
Hmm. So, you know, I wake up a bit later than normal. I move over to where my staked white friend is. Pat him on the shoulder.
The eye is still open, by the way. It never closed.
I look at my friend and I think in my head, hey, buddy, I hope you're okay today. There was a thing about feeding. I'll have to look at my books about that. I'm going to be going out briefly. I won't be out long. I have to just check my notes, see if I've got any messages. Then I'll be back. Don't worry. You're safe here. No one can find you. Okay? And all this is just thought
Yeah.
to
It does
the
not
being.
move. It does not twitch.
I mean, it is staked after all.
It
so,
is, yeah.
I mean,
It is as silent as the dead can be.
undead. And I go about the process that I go through to get ready for the evening. There's a bit of a process from point A to point B. There's a bit more process from point B to point C. After I get myself all ready to sort of be presentable to the public, you know, sort of work pants and long shirt, hooded sweat jacket.
Mhm.
I make sure I have the things on me that I probably want to have on me. I check all of my pockets.
Mhm.
I check the phone that they gave me.
Lori called you twice yesterday. Near the end of the night, by the way.
I just look at those, the like, when you pick up the phone and it says somebody called, but you don't know anything more about it. Sort of note it.
You would see that there isn't there isn't a voicemail and that there isn't a text message.
Can you see that if you don't open your phone?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, if I just like open mine and I have a voicemail,
mine
it
will
would say
say
like
voicemail and
one
stuff.
voicemail.
Called twice.
No,
I
no.
think-
She only called once. She let it ring
She only called
twice.
once.
Oh, she let it ring twice. Yeah, you wouldn't know that, but called once then. Sorry, I thought it was called twice for some reason.
And the postman always rings twice, but I think that's different. Sort of Dixon sort of notes that there was a call, doesn't see any other sort of messages, but then the only person who has this number is Flory, so the only person who would call would be Flory. Although maybe Artie has the number. Dixon doesn't know actually who has the number or not. He doesn't know what the number is himself. So he just puts it in one of his pockets and he begins the long walk to his message dead drops. Sort of keeping, trying to sort of take a different route than he did the last time. He always tries to take different routes where he's going from one place to the next, and always keeping a bit of an eye out just in case. There are people that want to kill him or capture him or question him. There are people who do not have good intentions that are about, and he will, when he's going to go by the bad house first to see whether or not Folly left him a message in the mailbox.
The abandoned building? Yes.
Actually, Folly's new house, her renovation house.
Oh, you wanted her to leave it in the...
Then I would have done that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
because
from what I remembered, what I had in my notes was that you wanted her to leave the answer at a different address. So that's
yes,
what
that would be excellent. But don't want to like inconvenience her too much. You know what I mean? Like, wouldn't bring her to like an unsafe neighborhood or anything like that.
I chose for you an abandoned, probably old like textile factory at on the outskirts of Griffintown.
As long as it wouldn't inconvenience Miss Folly Watson, that's important.
It's near enough her place.
Okay, because I mean she's a movie star. You can't just.
She can vlog or walk there if she wants to.
And if there is a message from Folly, he'll sort of like just sort of take it, pocket it, and move away from this location before he checks what it says.
What does it say, Folly? Sorry to ask you to repeat it again.
Yeah, no, that's good. It says, I appreciate your concern and will keep you updated on things. A door to the abyss, you say. I will take this into consideration. Thank you for being such a good fan. F. Keep mysterious as well. And then it's a P.S. Apparently there's an Elysium that the Prince Boy is going to be at on Halloween. And like the location and stuff.
Mm-hmm. I note those locations. And as I'm walking, I probably have like a small little notepad. There's like little spiral bound
crumbled
ones.
up like the same way your note was crumbled up and put into.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to make a little sort of note back, just a couple sort of little things. I'm not too far away from your abyss house, which is a great name for it. Quick little sort of note, make a little crumple. And as I walk by, I'm going to sort of toss it into the mailbox of the Doom house. The house that people should not be living in because it's full of doom. That one.
Yeah, that one.
I will sort of like toss the note in the Doom house. I am not going to go around the back of the Doom house because that was a bad place. That was bad. Don't want to go there. But it's not a good place. I kind of try to not stay too close to the Doom house, the bad house. The house that will eat you and destroy you and desiccate you and
The yard looks better.
Oh, that's nice. Huh?
Yeah, I'm paying landscapers.
Oh. Now I am pretty certain you have another place because you only just got this place.
I do.
Yeah.
Because
Dixon
I
imagines
don't
you're
feel
not
quite
staying
safe
here.
moving my pet turtle here.
Right.
Or my cat.
But also,
yeah. Paul Robeson
yeah.
or Fred Astaire. Yeah.
Yeah. Dixon assumes you're
Construction's
not
a safe
staying in
place
this
for
house.
pets. No, not all the time.
Like, I'm just gonna add So writes the note, yes, drops it in there. And then sort of just taking that step back from the very, very bad place, looks up at the windows, hopes there are no lights on, and then sort of feeling secure that Polly is not in the house right now, we'll sort of head off towards the second dead drop. Yeah. Because I assume that Folly Watson was not sleeping in this place tonight.
She probably
this
wasn't
morning.
that night.
No.
Because, you know, she's got to feed Fred Astaire and Paul Robeson.
Absolutely. And also that place is bad. So, you know, we'll then sort of take the long walk down. And it takes like about an hour or some to walk where he's heading. It's a long distance. We'll head on down to the second dead drop to see if he has, because he had left off a note for Alex. And they had just like crossed notes with each other. And he wants to see if there was a...
Alex has replied.
No, not Alex, pardon me. Not Alex, Antonio.
But I thought you had left a message to Alex about the sniper.
No. He was thinking about it, about how he needs to go and talk to Alex.
Okay, my bad. Antonio,
but he doesn't want to say anything to Alex too soon because Alex is a blabbermouth.
Yes.
You can't trust him to keep his mouth shut.
Antonio gave you a message before, and it is the only one that you have gotten from him. There is nothing in the dead drop tonight.
Yeah, because I went to give him a message, and he left me a message at the exact same time, right? So, is my message gone?
No. You had found his message, you left yours, and your message is still there.
Okay, so I note it, and then I'm going to move back out of the way and head back towards my haven.
Cool. Meanwhile,
and that'll probably take a couple hours. It's a long distance.
Well, yeah, if you're doing it on foot anyway.
Yeah.
So during all the movement, the travel that Mr. Dixon has to do, Flory, Folly, Arthur, you have risen from slumber. For once, the captions actually got exactly the word I was saying.
It's nice. I am checking to see about messages from my mysterious professional.
There is a text message that was left right at sundown.
Okay.
Stay home tonight. Package is en route.
Okay, I'm staying home tonight.
And it doesn't take too long for you to get a knock on your door.
Let's check the cameras.
There is at the edge of view, just out of sight, you see a shadow, like the shadow of someone, passing through under a street lamp. But in plain view of your camera is a bewildered, little bruised up, mouth still duct tape, hands bound behind his back, Ralphie. It's just
get out there, get the door open, get him in. This is gonna suck.
Yeah.
Takes out pocket knife, cuts the other duct tape.
I'm so sorry, Arthur. I didn't want to get you into this mess. It's not my fault. Well, it's kind of my fault. I'm just. You got anything to drink?
Yeah. It's this, if I remember correctly, this is a bourbon sort of situation. Yeah, pour him a double.
Uh-huh. Takes it, downs it, asks for another. This one he'll sip.
Don't go too fast. You may likely be dehydrated. Grabs a Gatorade and then pours a single.
Thanks. I got in over my head. They don't know anything about you, by the way, and I don't know who you sent. But they're a little rough. But they are efficient.
Yeah.
And when he says that, you can see in his eyes, like, he is still living whatever it is that happened at that house.
I'm going to try and do something.
Eh?
Well, I can see that the image is clear in his mind right now. Let's just wipe that. Let's use Dominate and just try and scrub a little bit of that away.
Dominate will let you, unless you have...
I have Cloud Memory.
Yeah, but Cloud Memory is the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's a recent thing. It's like I
Yeah,
forgot I
but-
said that.
I'm sorry. If something is on your mind, I'm going to wipe it.
Oh, yeah, it would wipe out, like, the fact that you asked them, and thus the fact that he's clearly remembering it at the moment.
Yeah. No.
You don't need to make a roll. In his state anyway, it's gone. Like there's a desire to forget it,
Yeah,
and he
but
just looks up at you
We're going to
again.
suppress that right now.
I'm so sorry, Arthur. I
Don't you apologize to me. You apologize to your wife.
oh shit. What does she know?
She knows you went missing. She knows that a $50,000 deposit was made to help take care of things while you were missing.
Do you have? Can I use your phone?
Yeah. Landline's over there.
He calls his wife immediately. It's gonna take a little while. They're gonna have a conversation.
While that's happening, I'm immediately calling Silvio. Have him come over to drive him out.
I'll be there in a flash.
And while after that, it's deposit the rest, as I said I would, on delivery.
The number just replies, "Pleasure doing business."
That is possibly future me's problem, not current me's problem.
Ralphie eventually is done with his conversation, comes back in between that moment and for Silvio to arrive, which is only going to take like maybe 10-15 minutes.
Okay, Ralphie.
Yeah.
I don't like guns. I know you don't like guns. You're learning to shoot. You're going to keep a piece on you at all times. All right?
Yeah. Yeah. What happens when there's 6 of them, though?
You get good. Also, cardio.
I kind of walked into it.
Yeah. This is why you keep a piece on you. This is why You practice. This is why don't keep doing this. You get a little tougher. It's not pleasant. But one way you can deal with 6-on-1 is something that the cops already done. But do it real well. And you're going to learn how to do it too.
What
You
is
guarantee that one of them's going to die. You guarantee it. You declare it with absolute certainty in your voice, and that gives you enough time that they waver. The other thing you're going to do is you're going to take up smoking.
what? Why?
Just a little bit. Here's why. Back when, down in my gambling days, I always had a cigar in my mouth. I didn't necessarily light it. I didn't necessarily smoke it. I always kept it in my mouth. Because when some motherfucker decided to step, I could flip that cigar into their face. And that would give me plenty of time to pull my piece and be able to shoot. Okay?
Yeah, you might want to write them down because I don't know if I'm gonna remember all of this tonight. But
We'll go over things later. Sylvia's on his way to pick you up and get you home.
is he?
Now,
Is
another thing that's going to happen here as he walks away, comes back. Here's $2,000 in cash. You are going to put down an investment on good home security. Because considering that professional was as good as he was, means if those assholes try to do it again, they're going after your family. I'll keep them safe for that. Because this ends one of two ways. You either make it so that you're too much of a problem,
Uh-huh.
or they're going to keep coming.
I don't think these people are gonna keep coming.
No, but those people have people. Grudges get held. And unless you make it so that it's absolutely certain that you cost too much to fuck with, they will fuck with you.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
You've been through a lot. You also probably need to see a therapist. They do wonders.
I mean, I've seen guys getting beat up before, just...
What you saw takes therapy, right?
Yeah.
You need to keep a good head on your shoulders for your wife and your kid.
He, like,
If not-
straightens up his shirt, because he doesn't have a jacket anymore. Tries to, like,
Yeah.
pat away the creases. Yeah. Yeah, what did you tell Sophia?
Well, that's more of Sylvia's thing. I just made that sure that she and the kid were going to get taken care of, regardless of how this outcome.
Okay.
And how it all ended.
All right.
You're back. I'm happy for it. Not necessarily happy as to who I had to use, but they kind of left me no option.
I'm just glad you didn't leave me to rot.
We don't do that with our own. We never do.
And I won't offer my services anymore. Keep that to just you.
It may be time to change your position, and you're good with numbers.
Yeah.
We'll see about getting you some classes and being certified as an accountant. You can still do stuff for the family, but in a more official capacity. All right?
Okay. Okay.
Good. We can talk with Silvio about all this later. Right now, you need to take the next week to just recover. Okay. Be there with your wife and kid. We'll talk about this later. We'll be doing a lot of stuff come November, all right? Right now, you need to just get yourself home and take care of you and them, all right?
Okay. And you hear outside a car, like, park. Meep, meep.
All right, there's your ride. Stay safe.
Yeah, thanks a bunch, boss. And he leaves. Well, I mean, he doesn't go he's pretty much exhausted mentally and physically. Meanwhile, in the RV, Casimir says they're waking up, pacing for a bit. Oh, I just need to... After waking up... and being hungry. He's gonna ask you two things, Flory. Where can I see someone who knows anything about blood sorcery in this two-horse town? And also, I need something to eat.
You like academics, right?
Yeah. Yeah, last night's fast food kind of didn't sit very well. Might be down with the news. I think I could go for a psych major.
Mm. Come on, we're at the university. I'll introduce you to the de facto Tremere. I guess maybe he's a primogen. Well, he's the oldest one hanging around here. Not
don't-
second oldest, perhaps.
Are there no sons of Hakim here?
Not to my knowledge, and not ones that I haven't met intimately tied to the new court.
Okay.
I mean, you know me. I'd rather take a child of Hakim. Unless you'd rather have a conversation with the Nos in the sewers.
Nos knows stuff, but they won't know these things.
So I figure we have to go to the Tremere who's least publicly a problem. I mean, he survived being in this city for decades when it was Sabbat held and didn't get eaten. But he's pretentious and French.
You
I
said
understand
Tremere
how-
assumed pretentious.
I understand how that could be an oxymoron, but the man dresses like he's a Lon Chaney wannabe.
A what?
Wow, I feel.
No, Simon goes, what?
Yeah, Lon Chaney. Please look up the
Professional
man with
actor.
1,000 faces.
Revolutionized makeup within Hollywood. Was the Phantom of the Opera, many other Universal monsters. An important figure.
Oh, yes. Okay. I recognize the face. I did not recognize the
name.
the name.
Yes. I was like, wait. But yes.
So what you're
And-
saying is we should stop at a costume store.
God, no. Anyways, I'll take you over. You can get a snack. I'm just checking the press to see if he showed up in this city.
Who showed up?
He did. She would have used the stress to imply Mehmet.
Okay. Sorry.
Mehmet.
He with the capital H.
Yeah.
Okay. Notes. So far.
She would say that as they're driving over to the university, figuring, we can let you have a psych major, maybe even an abnormal psych major. And she'll, as the, when they get to the campus, they'll, she'll kind of like send a message, she'll call Valois.
You were following the movements of Mehmet, right?
Yes, in a general sense, because they haven't been on the same continent for a few decades. But she does take a point of inconveniencing him whenever she can. And he takes a point of whenever they're in the near environment, quietly trying to have her killed. Well, that hasn't happened in the past, 30 years, mostly because just haven't been close enough to do so.
Can you give me int?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. Can you give me manipulation and investigation?
I can do that.
I know it's weird, but it makes sense in my head.
I'm okay with this. I'm gonna
Of course,
that.
difficulty 2 because I haven't said anything.
Yeah, I'm gonna re-roll.
Whatever that was.
Yeah. Whatever that is. Those are 2 successes.
Okay. The hell's going on tonight?
Literally the same of same stats.
Mehmet chartered 2 of his private planes recently.
Mm-hmm.
One left. Where did I say he was again?
Ankara.
Ankaram, yeah. One left Ankaram for Moscow. The other one for Chicago. You get a feeling that he's, of course, on board one of them.
Mm-hmm.
They were both... So the one for Chicago is stopping over in Barcelona first and then hopping over the Atlantic. So the one that goes to Moscow has reached Moscow tonight.
Yeah.
Or will at some point over the course of the night, right? Yeah. No, that was me and time zones. His night, which was your day. Your day, yeah. Because if he says night, yeah, it's the early day. Yeah, basically he's like a day ahead of you right now. The important part is the plane from Moscow landed on what is October 26th.
Yeah.
He hasn't made it to Chicago yet. He should make it to Chicago on October 27th.
Yeah, it's only 4 hours to go from Ankara to Moscow. It's a lot longer to go from Ankara to Barcelona and then to Chicago. She's betting he's going to Chicago. but she's also going to back up and see if there have been any flights from Istanbul.
Not Constantinople.
We've already
Well,
been
she's-
through that.
Look,
Polly made a
she's-
smart remark.
my family still calls it Byzantium. It's fine. And technically more accurate. She would look to see if there were any flights from Istanbul that went to either Montreal or Chicago and Montreal or Toronto in the last 48 hours.
Like
That-
public flights? There are some, of course.
Yeah. There are. She wants to see if there are any reporters, like page 1, page 6, rumor mongers level reporters, like the paparazzi, the ones that she's been kind of manipulating to make herself public. Reporting
no one of note has arrived from the old world. There are a lot of planes, like people coming back from vacation or whatnot, but no one that would deserve any, even like the raggiest of gossip rag. Nah. There's people. The Canadian government, there's a good enough like team. The prime minister isn't going, but like there's a few people of his cabinet that will leave for or in 2014 they are heading to, God, I don't want to get the place wrong. Yeah, they are heading to Egypt. Because there's like terrorism events. But I wave it off like this, but it's very, very great. It's very important. But that's like one of the, like, that's the one thing that merits attention according to the tabloids, but it's people leaving the country, not coming back.
Yeah, so in that case, she's just going to be like, all right, well, that's on them going to Chicago. No one wants to go to Moscow. Everybody's leaving. You're just going to get stuck in the traffic trying to come.
I mean, I take it the oligarchs over there have a very nice airport.
No, they don't. Have private trips that they land on.
Well, yeah, that's
Actually, they don't have a very nice airport in Moscow. Have you seen it?
nah.
Yeah, so that's kind of like what she was doing as she's driving over. And
Yeah,
then,
trying
like,
to find where, like, what his movements are.
Yeah, she's not going to discount Moscow, but she kind of puts that in like a pin in that kind of level. She's leaning more towards Chicago, for a variety of reasons. Not the least of which is the fact that he is such a freaking asshole, vehement Ottoman that there's no reason he would go to Russia unless he's ordered to. You know, the Turks and the Russians have a small problem. It's called the Crimea.
Yeah, he probably would be seen with a lot of suspicion going there.
Yeah.
But that said,
So
oh no, go ahead.
no, but that's what she's doing.
Okay. Last scene of tonight will be with Folly.
Yes.
Folly, you woke up, you drank.
Yeah, had like a brunch for me. you know, nice
At the
after
bar.
dinner drinks for them with, you know, like my accountant. Yeah. Go over quit some business, get a bite to eat, then go about the rest of my day.
What is your day, Night?
Night. That's true. The rest of my night. Well, that's a great question. I definitely need to prep for my Halloween outfit. Because if I'm gonna win that costume contest, you know, it would look good for the vlog. So I think I go, you know, I've probably commissioned something from like a tailor shop, but one of those like dry clean places that is open late so people get off work and get their things, because a lot of them also do tailoring. So I think I just pop in, like, see, just run some errands, you know,
Do stuff.
nighttime errands. Yeah, just be social. Have my phone on me.
I will hate asking this question. Are you on your Vespa?
I think today we're in the car. Because,
Okay.
you know, errands.
Oh.
I could be on the Vespa, though, if you prefer.
No, that's that's great. As you're driving around places.
Yeah. It's a nice car.
You know, like I said, sun goes down at about 7:30 at this late in October. It's very chilly outside, kind of foggy a bit. And you go about your errands eventually, you know, around midnight. You're driving down a almost deserted St. Laurent Boulevard, which is kind of one of the two main arteries of the island, where you would have, you know, a wide variety of stores to go to, and a lot of them are open late still. But by midnight, everything is pretty much closed. What you see are the people heading out to bars, the clubs. A few of them are already disguised because, you know, October 26th, we're very close to Halloween.
Very close.
So, you know, might as well. And you notice one of said people in the middle of the street. Like, you blink 1 second, they're not there. 1 second, they are.
Oh.
It's just this...
Heightened senses time. Whoop.
They're almost dressed like I'm not gonna say a cheap ghost, but do you remember...
Do you remember the time? Yeah.
The Muppets Christmas Carol?
Oh, yes. Of course Folly remembers the Muppet Christmas. Look, Folly didn't have a lot to do except for write scripts and watch television and movies for many decades. So, yes. Oh, Folly is big movie buff, for sure. Yes. Muppet Christmas Carol is arguably the best rendition of A Christmas Carol. So...
The Ghost
Yes.
of Christmas Future.
Oh, no, not the spooky one.
Yeah, the very tall, wraith-like being.
Yeah. He had a scythe, he might be confused with death. Yeah.
Yeah, this one doesn't have a sight.
That's good. That's more Ghost of Christmas Future. I mean, a bit early, but you know,
But
it's Halloween.
You know how the head was very high? Like, the neck was like twice the size of what a regular neck should be.
Yep,
And they
that's
just
why heightened senses are up.
They raise a finger
Towards.
to their left. They
Oh.
point very delicately
It's not at me,
with like
so
a
I'm okay.
bony with a bony skeletal finger. They point west. They point towards the manor. And I'm gonna ask you to make a dexterity, wits
no.
plus drive test to avoid running
Okay.
them over.
Sure. Wits drive. All right. Wits. It's not as good as better. Could it be a composure drive? Because,
Nope.
like, this is spooky? Okay. I just had to ask.
Yeah, I know, but I want to be mean.
That's fair. Wits. Boop. Boop. Can I re-roll all those ones?
You can reroll
with
those two
the-
ones by using a willpower.
Two ones. I will use a willpower and re-roll two of those. That is literally as low as I could roll. Just about.
And that's, yeah, because you need to succeed, because otherwise it is a bestial failure, which I
Yeah,
will
yeah.
enjoy.
Uh-huh. No,
That is
That
still a
doesn't-
fail.
it doesn't do it. But it's not a bestial fail,
Yes, it is, because you still fail.
is it? Because I still fail. Okay.
So, do you leave it as a bestial fail, or do you burn another point of willpower?
I'll burn another point of willpower. Look, I'm a very willful Mulcahy.
You are.
I wasn't sure if I could pick which ones to reroll because I would want to.
But perhaps the game wants you to fail.
Oh,
Or
I'm
it's
sorry. I
just
should also
roll
only
20.
have one hunger die because of
Yes,
because
that
I
is true.
ate. So let me fix that too.
You also can choose which dice you want to reroll, but not the hunger dice.
Yeah, the hunger
Yeah,
dice you
okay,
can never
So,
remove.
but
Well,
because you
technically,
only,
the second hunger dice wouldn't be there. But let me figure out how do I get rid of that?
That is true. No, that's true. The second one wouldn't be there,
You
so
may
it would be
have
just
to
a
on-
regular failure.
Go
Still
up
want to like not fail though. So.
on the attributes bar, there's
I've
lock dots,
lock dots. Yeah,
unlock dots, and then you can adjust things.
Yeah.
I figured. You'd think that they would make the thing that you have to change all the time not locked, but okay. Here we go. One success.
It's still not enough.
Ah, fuck it. One more. I'm almost done. I want to roll. Can I just re-roll one?
You
or do I have to
can
roll
re-
both?
yeah,
of
yeah,
them?
You can reroll.
Okay.
Every time
Yeah.
you spend a point of willpower, you can choose up to 3 normal dice
Yeah.
and reroll.
Let's
them.
go.
Roll
This-
20s
this
in a mood.
game's like hit him.
I think the game wants you to hit him, so do
I'll
you.
take the hint, but but it's not a bestial failure, so
No,
I'll
it's
take
not.
it.
You try to swerve, run them through.
But there's no thud.
No, you go through.
Oh no.
You see
Okay.
them in your car,
I think it's like that slow motion, like.
and then you run the car into a lamppost.
Shit.
And we're
Oh.
going
I like this
And-
car.
our game on this.
Oh no. People are about to get some text messages.
You know, regardless of whether you're wearing a seatbelt or not, it doesn't do enough
was
damage for a
not.
vampire.
we didn't have those in the 20s, and this is an old car. So yeah, it was definitely not wearing a seatbelt.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for being here. I have to just disappear 2 seconds. So players, if you would like to shout out, I'll still be able to hear you, but if you want to shout out what you loved about tonight, tell us who you are, where we can find you, and all of that. We'll do reverse order that we did the intro. So haha. So we'll start with Dixon, and I'll be right back.
As
Hi,
the ghost of
everybody. I
Christmas
am-
future.
Ghost, well, no longer, right? Now it's behind you. So the ghost of Christmas past, when you just
Future
like
best.
drive right through them. Yeah. Ghost of Future Past. Hey, I'm Trooper SJP, and I was playing Dixon, your Bruja, and tonight, who is, currently being hunted by 3 different Archons, and, so trying to lay low until needed. And, gosh, let me think. I will give, what did I enjoy today first? I really enjoyed learning more about Bal's history. I enjoyed seeing some red thread sharing between an elder and an old mobster, and that was very nice. I also enjoyed Flory and Folly watching this going on and then making snarky comments in the background. I thought that was lovely. And let me see. You can find me. So tomorrow, you can find me at 7 p.m. Eastern over here on my channel, Trooper SJP, for Motor City Hollow Crown, which is a Vampire the Masquerade non-canon game set in Detroit in 1973. I will not be streaming any RPGs on Friday because I've got an offline RPG thing I have to do. But then I think that's it for RPGs this week because Carousel Court is on its arc interim. So you can find me tomorrow. Come and hang out with me tomorrow. That's where you can find me. And that's me. I'm going to pass it over to Prax.
technically it's supposed to be Lindy.
Oh.
I went first, so
Oh, this is true.
if we're going reverse order, it would be you.
No, I thought I went first for introductions.
Oh, whatever. It's not me. I'm last.
Okay, so fine. I'll go first then. I'll go next. Hey y'all, you know me. I'm at Deirdre Donlin on Twitter, or Prexgorth as Euphoria is to see me around on Twitch, Prex the Bard over on Hive and Instagram. I loved every minute of this. Thank you, Lindy, for being here because I love the Flory Folly Snarkfest that's happening. Also, I will totally whore out my sire to recruit Malkavian to the Independence. I have no problem doing this. I think this is going to work. I also love the note drops between Folly and Dixon of just like one who's like, I'm going to be very secret and, hiding and being very stealthy. And then Folly just being like, drop. I don't know. I guess it's folded the same way. And I loved watching Artie meet Casimir. I've been waiting for that for a while. It's like, oh wait, these two people who have both have an experience and a complicated history with this other character, and just seeing how those two are going to intermesh and weave together. I'm here for all of this. I've also loved Simon's portrayal of Casimir. I think that has been great. It's just the right level of like, let's lean on this trope and then twist it just a little bit. And I love how much that is happening in this game. As for me, well, you won't find me on Sunday because no, you cannot blame the Ravnos for anything. The Ravnos has not done anything in this city yet. We haven't done anything wrong. Not our fault. We've just been cleaning up after other people. But as for me, yes, Carousel Court, which is on my channel, is currently in our inter-arc hiatus to give me, as the GM, time to plan some world state things and figure out how the 1965 and things that are going to happen are going to treat our what happens in the world, so that our players, my wonderful fabulous players, can deal with it. But I will be doing a couple random go live streams, so follow me on Twitch and Hive and maybe Twitter, I guess, whatever they want to call it these days. And I try and be most accurate so I can share all the love with people I get to play with, like these fine folks right here I get to tell stories with. And that's me. So then it has to be Pope's turn.
Yes. Hey everybody, Pope here, Pope World Build on the socials, Pope World Build on Twitch. If you want to see more of this silly face, well, if you have a burning need, you should probably check out Wandering DM's YouTube channel and Praxagorthas Bephoria's YouTube channel. Because I'm there in a number of things. And they're good things that's worth taking a view. Also, you should be following all these wonderful people, checking out their streams, what they've got going. Hollow Crown has been an absolute delight, and I also know also check out Lindy's YouTube as the Call of Cthulhu stuff's being uploaded, and I am just, oh, it's going to be so good. So yeah, there's a lot of great stuff going on. And love tonight, there's so much. We're seeing not Dixon's face, as much as that frustrates me, but we are seeing this sort of strange state that he finds himself in. And it's so weird because it feels like there's this peace that has come over him, but we don't necessarily know why.
You mean the hood?
No, I mean there's like in those moments, like trying to mentally communicate with the light, there seems to be like it's just this strange peace. Like Dixon has come to make a decision, but we don't know what that decision is yet.
It may not be a good thing, but you could feel chill about many things. Maybe those things are not good. You never know.
Yeah, but it feels like there has been a clear choice made, but we haven't seen the actions of that choice, and it's intriguing. It's terrifying in its own way, and I am so here for it. Just like getting to see more of Flory and Casimir's relationship, where it definitely has some of those traditional sire-childer elements, but it is uniquely them and also uniquely Ravnos. It's great to see, but also it's just like, yeah, this is very different from a lot of other ones, but there's some similarities in there. It's just been an absolute blast to see. And then Folly being this conundrum, whether it's like desiring to bang Flory's sire, or it's this, the premonitions, which we've touched on before, but now it's like when the premonitions escalate, that means something's going to occur. And I have nerves. And yeah, we end with a car crash, which just feels very in keeping with this group. So it's always a delight to have Folly around, but this one was special, blender special. And then Simon.
Sometimes you need a smoothie.
It just sometimes, and then Simon getting to see like Casimir and also having those little tidbits about somebody else's experiences with Val, and again, she's been this character that has always been looming, but we really only have had like Artie's viewpoint. And now having someone that's outside of that relationship and has an entirely different context, like, is starting to give us more of a fuller picture of who this individual is, on top of like letting us kind of seeing like Flory's origins and more about this character who like Casimir, Giordani, these are all characters that are uniquely important to this plot, but we haven't gotten to really see or have tons of context. Now that we have Casimir, we had that phone conversation with Zahmadi. It is, the pieces are starting to fall into place, and everything is coming to a head. And I am so here for this, and I'm also absolutely terrified. And Simon, again, hats off in playing Ralphie. Like, somebody who is obviously in over his head, sweet lad, and has been through something, is not necessarily something that is easy to take on or comfortable. So hats off to you for that. And to all of you, whether live, VOD, YouTube, stories, nothing without its audience, you're much part of this as we are. Take care of yourselves, one another. See you soon.
And as for me, it's just because Dixon or Trooper doesn't want to show us his fancy new makeup. That's why there's still the hood. But at some point, he will be unmasked.
Oh, that's it. Thank you for coming, everyone. Thank you,
Oh,
players.
we have a Lindy
Wait,
that needs to go.
Lindy.
I thought. Oh no, because I heard your voice when I went upstairs, but you didn't do it. Yes,
I
please.
did it. It's all good. It's okay. Folly would be like, what a travesty, but I'm not Folly. So, hi, I'm Lindy Laugh Love Lindy. My love goes to Lucky for the notes. I'm sorry, Dixon, Big D. Folly's also going to be very confused by this last one because with F and A, she's like, but I signed my last note as F. Can't you just say, how are you doing? Like, just all sorts of stuff. So love the notes from Lucky and Folly. Folly is just a great point of contact, it would seem, for people to be like, hey, let me leave you some messages. And she's like, whatever, sure, I guess. It's because I'm that awesome. Because Folly's a little narcissistic, if you didn't notice. I also loved, let's see, just the initial text conversation with Artie and being like, yeah, you'll probably like Florrie Sire, you know, he'll probably like you. And she's like, immediately like, Florrie, what are you doing this evening? He's like, yeah, do you want to meet my sire? I was like, friends and family, like, sounds great. That was fabulous. I love the little conversations, the little text conversations between Folly and Gang. It just brings me such joy. Because she's such a modern dork. And it's just the best and the worst at the same time. Getting offered blood and fruit and choosing the fruit because she just really wants to not be a vampire, but it's fine. It's fine. And I also had love for the sire, you know, Casimir. He was very charming. Folly was like, I like this one. And it seems that like everyone that these people introduce her to are just very nice to her. Is that because they warn them ahead of time that she's a Malkavian and they don't want to piss off a Malkavian? I don't know. Folly just thinks it's because she's amazing. And we're gonna let her continue to believe that indefinitely. I will say Folly's text message that goes out after this car accident is, so the ghost of Christmas future like went through my car and I hit a light post. Also, it was pointing at the house. That's it.
But who does that go out to?
Oh, probably Artie first and then Florrie.
Okay, because you'll get an immediate response.
And then
from
there's
Florrie.
a GIF. Because gifts are out of like the ghost of the future.
Before you get to the GIF, there's an immediate response from Florrie going, from which version?
Why are you harassed by Muppets?
Great question. You can find me harassed by Muppets less in real life at Laugh Love Lindy. I say that, but I can't say that too much because I have GM'd for puppets before. So, yeah, Laugh Love Lindy. Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, etc. Also, this shirt was total Toreador bait in case we ran into any of them today. If they're like, "What are you wearing, roses?"
Wear it next time.
I'll have to wear it next time. I'll wear it next time. Yeah. Just wait for a Toreador to call me out on this, and then I can have an epic beatdown prepared. But anyways, Laugh Love Lindy. You can find me streaming on my channel. Not much this week. We're taking kind of a week off for me to prep a bunch of stuff. But on Mondays, for our Mondays in Exandria game, the new batch where we are in the city of Ank'Harel and things are going, it's a wild time in D&D. We're a wild group of people and everything will be okay, hopefully. On Tuesday nights for our, every other Tuesday, so next Tuesday, not tomorrow, for our Stargate Flames of Hope campaign, we might be dealing with a Goa'uld next Tuesday, having a guest possibly, still working out the kinks on that, but it's very, very good. If you like Stargate, this will tickle that part of your brain hardcore. And then, not this Wednesday, but next Wednesday, August 2nd, I will be beginning a new Call of Cthulhu campaign, Below the Land of Fire. It is very exciting. For the past 4 weeks, I ran solo adventures for investigators who work for Wintercroft Investigations, and they will all be grouping up together to be sent on a group mission to South America to investigate a cult. It's going to be very exciting. Lots of cogs in that machine, and I'm very excited for it to all be slowly revealed over time. So that's me. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great night.
GM, I have a question. I assume the answer is no, but I did want to ask. It is 2014. The answer, like, in the places I've lived would be no, but I don't know what it's like in Montreal. Are there still payphones out on the streets in Montreal in 2014?
I do believe 2014 we still had payphone.
Okay. Excellent.
The last payphone was not removed from the city of New York until 2020.
We've turned our payphones into art projects. Here, they're just like painted and weird statues are in them. Anyway, that means I can actually just give a call. I can call Artie or Flory to see what's up. Because I think I've got the money for a payphone.
You can also just do the thing where, you know, you star, what was it? Star 69 and then
Star
you...
69.
Yeah, and then you leave a quick message. Got me back.
Nice.
But yes, thank you everyone for coming. Thank you players for taking time off of your Monday to be here. Thank you to all of you players. Hello new faces, hello raiders, and hello new subs. Thank you to everyone who spent time hanging out in chat. It's always a pleasure to have you around. Thank you, Lindy, for coming over this Monday. And thank you for telling all of your players that you preferred this game to your other game.
We didn't have game tonight.
That way, you know, if you watched a VOD. No, I'm kidding. But yes, as for me, there will be a Road to Baldur's Gate where the Sticky Finger Sisters, I should really find another name for them, are going to continue committing crimes across the Sword Coast and generally try to get into trouble and up our murder count. Then on, oh yeah, that's special. I will be on a stream on Magi RPG on Saturday. A quick Witcher one-shot that is to be used as prep for the game that she's going to run at Gen Con. So if you want to come and watch us play, they're going to be pre-gens. And of course, none of the pre-gens are druids or priests because, you know, you work on something and it doesn't... whatever. I'm just glad to know that my classes are too complicated to be in the easy mode. But yeah, I don't know what I'm going to play. We're going to play like some of the pre-gens and basically run the game as if we were at a convention. So if you want to learn how Witcher works, this is a good way to learn. Otherwise, I do believe there's like 60 episodes of The Witcher over on Praxagora Thesmophoria's channel. That if you catch Carousel Court, you might as well watch the campaign we were playing before that. With pretty much the same people you see here on screen right now. Plus a Billy. I think that is all. For all of you going to Gen Con next week, we're going to have a lot of things. You're going to be able to try out Werewolf the Apocalypse Retaliation, which we're going to have demos. We're going to have demos of chapters as well, and we're also going to have, which is very rare thing, but on site, I think it's only on Thursday, we're going to sell copies of chapters. So pass the word around. If you don't want to wait for pre-orders or anything and you know someone going to Gen Con, they can pretty much just nab a copy over there from what we have, or what we'll have. So on that note, we're going to go, and just before we go, I'm going to put that 6-year video one last time, because, you know, it's my stream anniversary. I do whatever the fuck I want. Have a good night, everyone.